Listen, man, we're gonna get into the nitty gritty, but I need to push some propaganda first, man. And you see, people know I'm a propagandist, man. It's just certain niggas I gotta uphold the torch, the admirals, Blackbeard. Listen, man. Listen. I don't want to hear no more Mihawk this, Mihawk that, Mihawk who, Mihawk when, where, why. He's done.
I'm not quite sure how to help
Alexa,
you.
shut your ass up. I'm not done getting my shit on. I just got confirmation in this week's chapter in Riddell. I didn't talk about this backstage. I had the stoic face. The propaganda stay with me and end with me. Blackbeard. He scarred a two-handed in his prime, fully cognizant, not lacking shades. I don't want to hear no Mihawk nothing. Mihawk didn't do no long-lasting damage to the nigga. Mihawk don't got no scars on the nigga. I see nothing that Mihawk did to that nigga Blackbeard. And Blackbeard, no fruit. Not even the darkness. No fruit. The nigga pulled up like Wolverine with the claws and got the job done. We done with Mihawk, man. We done. All right, that's the prop. We can get to the real chapter. We can talk about what really happened. You got pushback? What's the push? Please tell me. Because that conversation about Shanks and all of that happened 12 years before Luffy went on his voyage. That's a prime Shanks. Rather, I mean, that was 12 years before Luffy's voyage started. So I want niggas to tell me how Blackbeard with no fruit got more feats than Mihawk. And niggas want to say Mihawk is stronger than all these people. The nigga compared to Joy Boy got scarred by a nigga with no fruit. Make that make sense.
I'm not one of those people who believe that Shanks was stronger when he had two arms. I don't believe that. I think at the bare minimum, there was a point, I don't know where that point was. There's a point where he reached his peak with two arms, but this could have happened before he even reached that peak. So ultimately, I'm still calling Mickey until I see it.
Only one Mickey.
I'm still calling the scar Mickey until I see it. But I will say this though. You know, you're gonna have all this energy, all this propaganda. But man, when that nuke falls and Mihawk just shows up and just Himothy all over the place. Miles, where are you?
I got one nigga I'm gonna call. Miles. Look, I already got. Yo, Vista, we got a problem, my nigga. Come slide. Oh, we good. Rose Rondo. And they're gonna come through with the Rose Rondo. Nigga, we good. I think what Vista did in the war. I seen it.
A little distraction. Nothing crazy.
Hey, Vista is strong as Joy Boy, my nigga. They said Shanks got Joy Boy level hockey. Nigga, Vista able to pull up and contend with that? Salute.
Man.
That's nasty.
You know.
Salute. They said Mihawk and Shanks even. But if Vista clashing with Mihawk and they even, and Shanks is compared to Joy Boy.
Man, Mihawk, Vista and Mihawk is comparable like Sanji is to Zoro. Let's be honest.
That's not what I read.
That's
not what you read either.
Hey, I saw plenty of fights where Zoro and Sanji were putting in work together and looking even. What the Davy back fight, perfect example. So you know what I'm saying? You know?
Is Zoro stronger than Sanji? I'm not gonna get to that.
Yo,
yes.
Sanji might have dropped. I'm just saying. Wait, you said he is?
Yeah, Zoro stronger.
Is he?
No, the real question is Sanji stronger than Jinbei?
Oh shit! Here we go again.
I'm just saying. I don't know. I mean, hey man.
During Wano, who was Jinbei fighting?
And I quote,
That
I
dude
can't
from
allow Zoro and Jinbei to, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Look,
Hey, I'm not a
Sanji's
Sanji hater, so it's like,
Sanji heard what the haters were saying, and he had to address it directly. I will say, before we dive into the actual contents of the chapter, I do love how we've kind of seen in recent history how much Oda is kind of keeping tabs on what the fans is kind of saying, right? And he's throwing little gems and crumbs to kind of like know that, nigga, I'm watching. I'm on Reddit. I'm on YouTube. I'm on the shorts. I'm on TikTok. I hear what y'all are saying, and he's kind of making the story a little fun. Even last chapter when he had Gabon throwing the little actually I was second strongest. To kind of mirror that kind of Sanji Zoro dynamic between him and Rayleigh, I fuck with it. But Sanji's definitely stronger than Jinbei. I'm not entertaining nonsense. That's nonsense.
yeah, he is. But them Sanji fans, oh, they're gonna no, these Sanji haters, oh, they're gonna run with this chapter. They're gonna run with this chapter.
So unlike the Boruto one, this chapter we got a lot of information. Wasn't really more on the fighting side, more on the information dump side of things. We already talked about the confirmation that it's now a public thing. Zoro has conquerors. Pretty much everybody's going to know. And like I had said previously, whenever we were discuss Zoro, I knew that he was not consciously using it. Even when he fought King, he was not consciously using it. It was happening, right? Mm-hmm. He had a desire to win, and that's the way it manifested himself. Similar to like Luffy on Marineford when he wanted to save Ace, that type of deal, to a greater effect. Some positive Zoro prop I'm going to push now because I can't be objective. If this is the level of strength that Zoro has with no knowledge of him having it really not being honed, and it just leaking out, as they sort of put it, pause, I can only imagine how powerful Zoro is going to be with training. I would even go on a limb to saying that I could see it being a case where Luffy may have more control of his Conqueror's Haki, but Zoro's Conqueror's Haki might be greater. I believe Luffy's will, what he wants to do, his ambition is greater than Zoro's. But for him to be at this stage with no training, when Luffy couldn't even like impose his will on people and knock them out, I feel like that says a lot. How do y'all feel about Zoro and his Haki?
You want to go first, or though?
Well, the one thing I will say is I do think there's a lot of. It's crazy to have even more potential when you're Zoro, considering you haven't really had a hard fight, quote unquote. I know he has to close the gap with Mihawk. I will be disappointed. Again, I've said this before. If it's a situation where the first person we actually see Mihawk fight is Zoro and he loses, I'll be honest, Miles can cook Mihawk and I won't even say anything because that will be buns. It's not. I would not like that. So, with that said, though, there's two interesting questions. If we're projecting that Zoro can get much stronger, first interesting question: will Zoro end the series as the strongest non-Devil Fruit user?
I believe so.
Second question: is Luffy only stronger than Zoro because of Gear 5?
I'm gonna say no, with a caveat. Zoro don't have no mastery over his Haki, and that's why I can say
eventually. So this is projection. My projection is Zoro does master it.
Sure.
And then obviously Luffy is who he is. Luffy got probably the most broken fruit or the most important fruit in One Piece. Is Luffy really only stronger than Zoro because of his devil fruit?
I'm gonna mental gymnastics my way to say no, but I'm really not sure because this idea of him not knowing he has conquerors and him getting to this level is kind of wild to me.
Yeah,
like using ACOP with no knowledge is crazy. That's crazy.
And if he does master it, and like once he does, obviously he will. Like, there's no telling what he's gonna be able to do. So like Miles said, I don't know the answer to that question, and I really don't want to say an answer because I would be hurt. And Zoro's my favorite, and I don't want to say yes. Like, I don't want to. Like, So yeah, crazy.
Looks like
Crazy.
Zoro fans are eating from this chapter. Not
Oh, for
gonna
sure.
And you know what's funny, Riddell? I feel like Zoro fans are eating and don't even know it. Everybody's so stuck on the Sanji shit that they're
No,
not understanding the
I
implications of
I
Zoro.
knew it. I knew it off rip. Like, you feel me? Even though I was talking shit about Sanji, like, I'm up. I'm up.
I respect it. I'm not one to tax people because they have devil fruits, because that doesn't really make sense for the context of what One Piece is. But I do think it's interesting how the strongest characters in One Piece, for the most part, like Go Roger, Shanks, Rayleigh, a lot of them don't have devil fruits. So I don't know what that really says in
It goes both sides though. Because I'll raise you Kaido, Sengoku, Garp. I mean, not Garp, but Garp. Sengoku. I meant. Who else? Big Mom was up there in her prime. Blackbeard.
I'm not mad at what you're saying. Like,
Whitebeard.
some of the strongest do include the devil fruit users, but in the era of Roger, the two strongest were people without devil fruits, Garp and Roger. We don't know about Rocks. Rocks is going to be a question mark. We'll see.
But Whitebeard.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Roger was strong. Gold Roger was stronger than Whitebeard. But all right, let me entertain this, because I do think this is interesting. Let me entertain this. Do you think it? You probably will agree to this, but I do think this is interesting. Do you think it's more impressive the fact that Garp and Roger were as strong as these broken ass devil fruits without a devil fruit?
I'm gonna say no.
What was the question?
And the reason why he said, do we think it's more impressive that Roger and all of these dudes were able to get as strong as they were without a devil fruit?
You go ahead, Nick, since you said no. You go ahead.
I'm gonna say no, because based upon what Kaido said, Haki are greater than fruits. So I'm giving more credit to the niggas with fruits getting that far, because they're the ones fighting with a quote unquote disadvantage and they're able to contend. So slight tangent, but not really, because it relates. A nigga whose stocks that I have really high in my regard is Shiki. Shiki had no Conqueror's Haki at all. He had only a devil fruit. And narratively, he's constantly compared to Whitebeard and Roger as I'm not gonna say a distant third, but he's in the same regard as them. And when he was originally defeated, it took Garp and Sengoku simultaneously fighting him to take him down. To me, with what we know about Haki's the end all be all, it transcends all. For two of the strongest niggas in the verse to fight a nigga with no Conqueror's Haki to take him down, that's a crazy feat. It's one of the greatest feats in the series.
My counter to that, though,
is
I feel like they've really established you really have to train Haki, like, a lot. I'm not saying you could just get a broken devil fruit and become strong. That's obviously ridiculous. But you do have a large advantage when you are giving broken ass devil fruits, for sure.
Yeah, I think.
Go ahead.
I think
Dre, what's up, Dre?
I think the end game is more Haki based, but and what's the miles? I think the start, like, let's say it's a regular person, they get a devil fruit. I think their ceiling is way higher. Their floor is way higher. Should I say?
Yes, I agree with you. Yeah. Yes,
that's how it works.
Which I agree with that, but what I'm trying to get at is,
before you go, like, think of this, right? If Zoro ends up being just as strong as Luffy by the end of the series, that means he had to train his Haki way more than Luffy. And Luffy has the most important fruit in the series.
Sure, but based off what we know, because he trained his Haki to that level, it invalidates his fruit. And that's the point I'm getting at, right? There's no way a devil fruit, other than Blackbeard's, I guess, can completely invalidate the other fighter. But you get what I'm saying? Luffy can't invalidate, or Mihawk, I guess, because he can invalidate, Shanks. Because Shanks can invalidate observation Haki. other than that, devil fruit users have no way to equalize the playing field with a hockey user, while a hockey user can quite literally cancel anything their fruit can do. Right?
I'm fine with that. But the people we're talking about all can use hockey too. Like Luffy at the end of the day, it's still he is conquers hockey as well. He has future vision. So the fact that it's even plausible with the most broken fruit, future vision, and probably end game one of the strongest conquerors hockey, to even imagine he has all of that and Zoro catching up to him,
that's what Zoro's supposed to do.
But he just didn't have as much as Luffy did. And he was able to reach that level. Like from the ground up, to be honest.
Yeah, sure. I'm like Riddell, I'm with you. But that's what he's supposed to do.
Oh no, fine. But I'm just saying it's super. That's
I don't think it's impressive. I don't think it's impressive.
You don't think it's impressive?
No, I would argue Luffy getting to the point that he did with his fruit is harder than Zoro training this. Zoro with no knowledge is advanced conquerors hockey. That's crazy.
He's Timothy
with zero knowledge. So I'm saying this is what he's supposed to do. He literally has an unknown level of mastery with a variable that it's not like it lessens the fruit. It invalidates the fruit. Your fruit is and Kaido says that. I don't give a fuck how ridiculous your power is. I learned from Roger that hockey transcends all, so your fruit don't matter. All these niggas got to the highest pinnacle with no fruit. Fruit don't mean nothing. So no, I don't think training conquerors hockey like is an impressive feat as a person who's getting it out the mud with a devil fruit. I don't. They have a disadvantage. You can't throw Seastone on a nigga. You can't throw Seastone on a nigga that got hockey.
I hear you. I guess the only difference here is I'm really focused on the people who also have hockey. That's because based on I agree with you. If someone is able to naturally use hockey and then someone just gets a devil fruit, personal hockey every single time.
Mm-hmm.
But if someone is a natural born, like I would argue Luffy's a natural born hockey user as well, and also got the most broken devil fruit, and Zoro still caught up to him. I don't know, man. I feel like that I think that says a lot about Zoro. Surprising, I guess not surprisingly.
But I do got a question about the what y'all think about them saying that Zoro was leaking hockey. Do y'all think that's that's the thing because he didn't train his hockey, or it's just a normal thing?
So what at least I had said earlier, Dre, I think that's a positive feat for Zoro because we've seen other characters and the level they've been able to reach when they unconsciously use Conqueror's hockey, right?
Yeah.
So we saw Doflamingo, he knocked out all of those people that were going to kill his family. We saw Luffy knock out the Marines at Marineford unconsciously. You know what I'm saying? Zoro unconsciously is using advanced Conqueror's hockey. That's insane.
Crazy.
No. My thing is the him leaking it regularly, him leaking advanced conquers. I want to know if that's a normal thing or do y'all think that's a normal thing or
I think that comes from him.
Zoro thing.
Or he don't know, he don't got his advanced conquerors trained enough to keep it inside of his body or whatever.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's because he doesn't have control over it yet. And once he mastered it, he'll be able to. But also that comes from him when he would try to master the black blade and shit. So he was exerting a lot of his hockey into the blades, and I think that caused his leakage. So now he has to understand how to control it and put it back into his body. And I think that would be cool to see, in my opinion.
I'm concerned it's going to become a little Mickey, though. I'm concerned because if it's a situation where, again, Zoro becomes really powerful because he just naturally was using Advanced Conqueror's hockey, something we have not seen before in One Piece, then Oda may use this as a means to like equate him to Mihawk immediately. That's one thing I'm concerned about. And two, I don't know how I would feel about someone with this much, I'm gonna say talent. Because we know Luffy has talent, but we attribute a lot of Luffy's talent to also his lineage. He is Dragon's son, Garp's grandson. He's a D-Clan member. He was chosen by the fruit that Joy Boy used. He was mentored by mentored by Shank. Like, of course, Luffy's gonna be this guy. Zoro, in all intents and purposes, was a normal-ish swordsman. For him to have this much talent, and it looks like we're not really going to get a backstory from Zoro. I don't know how I would feel about that one. That one would be a little weird to me.
Most likely, we probably will get a backstory soon. Like
we already did Wano.
We got it though.
Yeah, in Wano, huh?
The SBS.
What did the SBS say? Oh yeah, you told me. Oh,
yeah, we know his whole family tree. We know his dad, his mom. We know everything.
That backstory is lame.
I don't know.
Look up. I think it's SBS Volume 4 or 5. His dad's name is Pin Zoro. Like
his dad was crazy though. Like his dad was fodder.
His dad was a pirate. He was trash. And then his mom was she was either a daughter or a niece or some regard of somebody from the Shimotsuki family. So Zoro's real ancestry is that of he comes from Ryuma. He's a descendant of Ryuma. So he has the lineage and everything himself. It took Zoro just time to get through it. But we've seen Zoro have like crazy hockey feats like throughout the series that I'm not surprised that he's doing what he's doing. I'm just surprised that he was able to get to advanced conquerors hockey with no knowledge or formal training.
But that's the part, because everything else is like he's strong, he trained really hard. They make that dude's like fucking shoulder pressing
5,000 times.
Like, he trains crazy.
Yeah.
But there's no amount of training that could have allowed him to use advanced conquerors hockey without knowing. That in the context of One Piece is ridiculous.
It is.
We've never seen that before. So Zoro had that's why it's not clicking for like who Zoro is and what he just did.
I got a question that just popped up in my head because the backstory say he's a descendant from Wano and stuff. Did what's that nigga name? Damn, the person who had his sword before him.
Right.
Ryuma?
Yeah,
no, not Ryuma.
It's somebody else. I know
from Wano.
It's the nigga that looked like Zoro but got blue hair from Wano. I don't know. I don't remember his name though.
Also, yeah, him too, and also who put the slash on Kato, the scar on him?
Oh, Odin. You talking about Odin?
Yeah. So did Odin know that he was using Conqueror's Hockey before?
Yeah.
Okay. So my thing is maybe it has something to do with the lineage of Wano, why he does have Conqueror's Hockey and why he was able to use it like that. Maybe. I don't know. But it could be a theory.
I don't know.
It does seem like it's hereditary. Go ahead, Dre.
I don't know because Odin seemed like a guy that don't care about like none of that, like conquers like that.
Nah, he had it. He's confirmed. He's confirmed as a hockey user.
Yeah. We know that he is, but like to like know that he has it and develop it. I don't think that he seems like a person that like
train,
like actually care about it. Like he knows he have it just like Zoro, but like he never trained it. It seemed like that.
So I'm gonna push back. One, I don't think it's possible for him to scar Kaido without it. I don't think it's possible. That's the first thing. Two, we kind of saw when him and Whitebeard fought, and they both had the Conqueror's Hockey clash. Whitebeard was so. I don't think you can match evenly with Whitebeard without training. He matched equally with Whitebeard to the point where Whitebeard got mad and said, "Fuck hockey! I'm punching this nigga with the fruit. Fuck that kid. Who the fuck is this nigga?" Right? And then three, Odin completed the entire voyage of One Piece. He saw the One Piece. He got to the final island what that's implicating to me is they ran into holy knights. They ran into a whole lot of people to where him, as I guess he would be the fourth strongest nigga on the ship. I believe, and there's no way that he was around Rayleigh, Gabon, and Roger, and they didn't teach the nigga nothing, and vice versa. I believe he taught them something too.
Get there.
You get what I'm saying? There's no way.
But he seemed like a he seemed like a guy like how Luffy is, that I don't care about it, but like I'm gonna dive straight in, like I'm gonna use it, but like I don't care about it.
So I would say Roger's the same way. Do you think of Roger in that same grain?
I don't
they're
know.
more practical users of hockey.
I don't know nothing about Roger. That's the thing. Like we know a little bit about Odin.
I saw Divine Departure. That's all I had to see.
He definitely knew how to.
That's all I had to see.
He definitely knew how to use that shit.
And then when we saw Shanks use it, it's kind of confirmed that was a Kawasaki attack. So it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Odin. If the old man was able to teach Luffy to kind of get the idea of how to use conquerors, I think Odin. Odin knew.
Yeah, the same guy that was on the cruise. Yeah.
Now that was a good discussion. I can't believe that Zoro's hockey. That took up a lot of time. I appreciate y'all. To continue on with the chapter, a lot of it is them constantly kind of getting Loki out his chains. To the point where Luffy's kind of offering a loophole to get Loki out them chains by saying, "Yo, join the crew."
Right.
When I'm reading the spoilers,
before I just thought of it while I was, doing my thing. The only way I'll be okay with Zoro unconsciously using Conqueror's hockey. You ready? You ready for this, Miles? Because you're gonna be pissed about what I'm about to say.
All right, what's up?
Is during his training with Mihawk. Mihawk unlocked it.
What, Mihawk unlocked Conquerors?
For Zoro.
No, for Zoro. Like and
it was unlocked the whole time and Zoro didn't know?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be the worst writing Oda ever did.
Damn.
And you know what? You know what that would have to mean too?
What's up?
That boy Mihawk has Conquerors.
Well, now I would automatically lose the bet and I will lock.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope that don't happen. Exactly. I hope that don't happen because I don't believe that Mihawk has it. But if they add Riddell, I don't like potential unlock from Dragon Ball Z. If they put potential unlock in One Piece, I'll be that's basically the same thing. I'd be displeased.
I feel like it's the same as him just randomly unlocking it in a fight with Kaido and Big Mom.
So Mihawk saying, "Let me unlock your hockey for you."
No. That's not what I'm saying.
No, them like training
in a training match.
It pops up like,
and it's been leaking ever since.
Yeah.
But
he had no one who was strong enough for him to use it again. Like, think about his opponents.
But we kind of knew yet.
Zoro only fights bums, so I'm with you on that part. Only fights bums.
So Zoro was pushed to the limit by Mihawk. He activated it. He had it the entire time, and it wasn't until he fought someone on par with Mihawk.
Wait. You've heard it here first on B.S.S. Open Dojo. Riddell is King as strong as Mihawk.
I thought he unlocked it with Big Mom and Kaido.
Listen, man, but he was using it against King too, so it still applies, my nigga. So is King?
I might as well use it.
Is King as strong as Mihawk?
I like that. He might as well.
He was pushing him to
No.
It was no. Hey, actually, you know what? You know what? This might help. Actually, Zoro he had to try really hard. You want to know why? His body was basically broken. All of it was broken. So he had to weaken him so much.
Plus, he didn't.
It works. King
I like this. I like this. I actually like this theory a little bit. I like this.
Plus, he didn't even know how to defeat King at the first. He had to actually think. He had to actually use his brain to.
Body, all his bones were broken, and this dude won't get out of the sky. He was getting pissed. I'm like, yo, all right, I'm about to crash out, and he crashed out.
I don't realize how much this helped me so much. But that means Zoro don't fight nothing but bombs. So I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good with this theory. Zoro only fights bombs. That's why he can't use his potential. I like that. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Um, back to the chapter. In short, because I don't want to be long-winded, they're doing all these mental gymnastics to kind of get Loki free, right? Based off what we kind of been reading these last couple of chapters, it's become very obvious that there's more to the story of Harold's death, and it touches on it in this chapter. Do y'all believe that Hydra Dean should stop being stubborn and just let Loki go free?
Yes.
And they worry about what happens to Loki after? Are y'all kind of in that
Yes.
same boat?
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure?
Yeah.
As a brother, like I feel like I know he was getting bullied. I understand. Okay. But I feel like you should understand like when your brother is telling the truth.
You got
or when it's something deeper than what's really, the truth at the moment. I just think he should trust him, but obviously he don't want to. So, but I think he's definitely tripping though, in my opinion.
You should be able to trust Luffy and them also. Like at least trust them to like, if he do get out of control or whatever, they strong enough.
Luffy, Gabon told him, "Yo, free
Gabon that
Loki."
too. Exactly.
My thing is, at that
too many
once Gabon says it,
Facts.
yeah,
too many powerful people are there. Too many.
Well, I'm also not upset that upset at Hydra, considering he thought Loki killed his dad, and Loki was a dick to him.
Nigga, boss up, nigga. Talk about how you was treated.
Guy beating my ass every day. Also killed my
dad. Nigga.
We're men. Be logical.
He
boss up,
nigga.
Dad.
Be logical, bro.
Nah, Riddell. He the big brother. Boss up, nigga.
Man, this one.
You big bro.
Big bro ends up 5'5". Little bro ends up 6'8". Oh yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good.
Nigga, you gotta beat his ass before you grow taller than you.
Yeah, you gotta be fearful, or you want this revenge. I don't know. Would you want to risk it? Yeah, it's tough.
Fast forward, and I'm gonna kind of show an image on screen real quick here. We get to kind of see a flashback between like Loki and Ja Rule, them pretty much approaching the castle. They're going through the motions, regular shit, right? Loki was at sea. We know that he did take up piracy for a little bit. So he was at sea. And he came back home. It was kind of alluded to us. We thought that Shanks was the one that was kind of responsible for beating his ass and bringing them back. No, Loki was able to go out to sea, rampage, and come back pretty much, like a G. He just came back home. He's kind of pulling up to go see his pops, and when he walks in, I'm gonna pull up the picture. He walks in and sees this, and we should be fine to share this. I don't think this is anything.
Yeah, it should be fine. I just want to show the one panel real quick.
He walks up and he sees this, and he sees this scene with all of those soldiers being stabbed, right? So at a glance, it just looks like him being betrayed. But I pointed out, if you look here, and you look here, and you look here, it looks very reminiscent to what we saw Dory and Bragi look like after they got turned. My question to the gentleman on the panel here is, do y'all think I'm on the right track? And if so, why do you think that he was turned? Or what do you think is the story behind this? What have y'all kind of pieced together? What do y'all think?
Well, just looking at that, that's the first thing that I thought about was the domain reversal. To your second question, though, why do I think it happened? Maybe he tried to push back against Elbaf getting taken over by Emu. So that's my most obvious guess. But other than that, I don't know. So
for sure. Dre, got anything?
I think kind of similar. Thing. We know that.
What'd you say?
Is it cooked? Damn, he might be cooked. Oh, he's back.
You were lagging.
I'm lagging. still?
You said a whole lot of stuff that we didn't hear, so they start from the beginning.
I'm lagging still? Oh, I'm
No,
sure.
you're fine now.
Oh, I said he's very like similar. His idol is Rocks. So I think and both of them don't like the government. So from what we know of, I'm very sure that his outlook on the government is very like strange and whatever had happened between him, his dad, and his brother versus against Emu whenever that happened is the reason why I think the way that I think about the situation.
For sure. I want to also add to the caveat. This is going to be kind of a little bit political. We're going to talk about some unfair imprisonment. So in this chapter, we learn that both Gaban and Loki, Gaban and Shanks, they were both in Elbath at the time of this all happening, right? So they just came through and they just locked Loki up. And now we're kind of getting a concession from Gaban where he's kind of like, maybe we didn't have all of the details at the time and we kind of just took Loki in. How would y'all feel being imprisoned all of these years and niggas didn't even know for sure if it was you or not? They just came and apprehended you.
How many
I
years
guess
has it been?
like 14, right?
Yeah, 14 years in prison.
I guess it really just depends on what was Loki's response. So the interesting thing about this situation is that one, if you really think about all those people stabbing Harold, bro, they're fodder. There's no way they killed Harold. So I'm guessing they stabbed him, and then Jarul and Loki are the ones who actually beat him.
Oh wait, even that many people stabbing him all at once, it was quite a few people.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I think it's possible that one thing I was thinking about is maybe Harold was trying to hold back a little bit. It's like, yo, take me out right now. And he just stood there and allowed them to do what they had to do. I'm unsure. But one thing I do know is that there's a reason why Loki's blamed for it. And there's a reason why Harold knows what's going on. And not Harold, Jarul knows what's going on. And there's a reason why Emu's after Jarul and wants to kill him. So
I have a question for you, Riddell.
What?
Given this little bit of extra context, are you on board that Mosa is Ja Rule?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think you hit it right on the money. That is Jarul, for sure. With that said, there might be a threshold of the people you can turn into these demons, and maybe people as strong as Harold, Emu found out, like, yeah, I turned him, but he was resisting enough, and maybe Jarul also can resist, and that left enough of a window for Loki and Jarul to take him out, and Emo got pissed, and a lot of that stuff happened, and that they didn't want to reveal it to everybody else because he was the benevolent king, whatever. And Loki took the rap from it. It's possible that Loki's okay with what happened to an extent, but I just think that Loki didn't reveal everything that had happened to Shanks and Gammon, because even now they're like, okay, what happened? And he's still not saying anything until it's like, bro, tell me what happened. He's finally saying what happened. So it's possible that, yeah, wrong guy, but they didn't know for sure, and then Loki didn't tell the truth. So that's where I'm at with it. You should be more mad at Jarul than Loki, to be honest.
Should I?
Because he knew that he was innocent. If your theory's right, maybe. He knew he was innocent, and that's why he felt guilty the entire time, was being his friend the entire time.
I have an easy cop out.
What?
He has amnesia from getting cracked upside his head with this.
Yeah. Yeah. I would hate, yo. Oda goes to amnesia too often, bro.
He got cracked upside his head, and that nigga can't think straight, but he knows something's off, and that's why he's cool with Loki. But I'm glad you. Go ahead, Dre.
The government, in One Piece, they sway the media crazy every time. Sure. No matter what's the situation, they sway the media crazy. and we only get to find out until we get to that island or somebody tell us the situation.
The boy Morgan's, man. Mr. Clickbait himself.
Which is crazy because they don't like Morgans either, and I feel like he's
Exactly.
he's always helping them niggas. So why don't they fuck with him?
I'm very interested in Morgan's because I want to know like why he has that much freedom and control to do that shit.
Who he is? Why don't he ever turn his fruit off? He's always in his pelican form.
You know what I'm saying? Like
what's up with him?
A lot of questions.
That might be a crazy reveal when it happens.
Like who he really is. I wonder how long he's been alive.
That's a great question.
You know what I mean?
What wasn't there's a character? There's two characters that we're still yet to meet. There's one with the eye patch, right? The one that Oda.
Yeah. So Oda said when we see a character with an eye patch, we'll know the story is very close to being finished.
That and then a character, something with flame.
The man marked by flames.
Yeah,
we don't know who that is. But picture if that nigga Morgan's turned his fruit off and it's him. Or some stupid shit like that.
That's what I'm thinking. Like maybe there's a reason why we never see his human form.
He got burnt. He got burned. He got scars. Being burned. Maybe.
So in this chapter, we see that during this commotion with Harold getting killed, all of that good stuff going on. Well, not really good stuff. All of that bad stuff going on. There's somebody sneaking up and nabbing the treasure of Elbaf. So I'm going to share how I feel first because it honestly confused me. We know Loki has a fruit, right? Which makes him believe that he is a sun god. Mm-hmm. We know Luffy is the sun god. What the fuck was stolen?
Well, I'm actually, now I'm re-looking at it. Take it off the screen real quick.
Sure.
Harold died in that moment. So I take back what I said about
I'm gonna read this chapter right quick.
Jarul and Loki doing something. Because they said Harold died. And then they're getting attacked by somebody. So maybe the soldiers in there, why would they attack unless Loki crashed out, started killing everybody, put the sword through Ja Rule's head, and then took the fruit. That's the only way this makes sense to me. And if if based off your question, it has to be a mythical zone. And I mean, it's Loki. So you can go mythical zone, Fenrir, the wolf, or the snake, and just give him. Shit, Loki has so many powers, bro.
I would lead more towards the snake, only because in Norse mythology, I'm pretty sure the snake ate the sun. I think that's like a canon event.
Yeah,
in Norse mythology in Ragnarok, the snake eats the sun, and that's what I believe could make him believe he has governance over the sun. Because Loki very much believes he is the sun god, even though we know he doesn't have the fruit, right? So I'm with you on the snake thing. My thing is, because I've actually seen some theories about this, where it was like maybe somebody stole it, then somehow who stole it, then Shanks stole it, and then that's how it got back to Luffy. My thing is there 3 fruits? Is there 2? Was there only 1? I feel like this story is getting kind of muddy now. Is this Loki? If it is, why is he a silhouette? Since we already know who Loki is there somebody new? How does it all play into Harold's death? I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
this one nigga's death is like, just tell us already. It just makes the story more and more confusing.
So you think this is possibly the gum fruit?
It could be.
It would work within the timeline, and also Shanks got a hold of it. Or you said who got a hold of it?
Because Shanks got it from Who's Who.
Yes,
they stole it from Who's Who. But my thing is, Shanks is on the island while this event is happening. Maybe it could have been stolen, and Shanks being who he is, I'll throw another caveat in. At this point in time, he got the world government mark on his arm. He could have been enlisted by the world government to go get it. And maybe, I don't know, maybe when he gets to Dawn Island, go ahead.
Shanks did say he wanted to talk to Harold privately. Maybe it's because of the devil fruit. But I don't think he's working with the world government because he also said he wanted to speak to him privately off of the Holy Island. Maybe he's trying to tell him they're after the devil fruit now.
For sure.
Put a lot of things. I don't know how Who's Who plays into this. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even.
Is he a bum? Jinbei just beat him. He a bum. He a bum. Straight up.
He is.
But wait, no, I know why Who's Who plays in it. Because Who's Who was CP9. That's why.
Oh, so technically the government is on the island right now. Because the government went to meet Harold.
Yes.
But we're assuming to be there because she's the one who donned my reverse side. She has to be the one who donned my reverse side. Unless,
or it could have been a double plot where it's like, okay, we subjugate Elbath and we get the fruit because we know the history of the Gum Gum fruit. I'm pretty sure Joy Boy was a giant. I think that's all but confirmed. We have the giant straw. I think he's a giant. I think the Gum Gum fruit was like their coveted item. So it could be in the forefront. We're working with Harold. Maybe Harold says, no, I don't want us to join the government. And she turns him like, okay, I'm going to force you to join. While all that's happening, CP9 is enlisted with getting the fruit and getting out. My whole issue is the Shanks double agent stuff might be a little bit more true than he's walking in and out of Mary Joie. Niggas is not giving a fuck. He's talking to kings and shit in Mary Joie. Like, was he tasked with getting the fruit on the side of the world government, or did he do it out of pride for the people of Elbath? That's just another question that we're going to have to wait to get answers to at this point.
Also, when maybe the officials will clear some things up. Now I'm looking at what Gabon is talking to Shanks, and maybe we're kind of being thrown off a little bit with like Harold dying, quote unquote. The way Gabon talked to Shanks, he said, do you know Harold? He's the king of Elbath. The people think of him like a god. And then we saw him at the end where he's basically a bad person. And then they're trying to tell us he's benevolent. And they're trying to show us that the people killed him. What if he's actually just a bad guy? And that in this situation, the people rose up to take out Harold because he was about to betray the Giants. And maybe that was the plan Emu was talking about the entire time, where the Giants were going to be enslaved by the Celestials. Elbath's most beloved king. Yeah, I feel like that they're throwing us off here because we were saying the Don My reverse side stuff, but it's also possible that he's just a bad guy and maybe he accepted it. It was like, team up, give me this power. I'm going to enslave everybody for you.
Oda's a crafty one. The nigga's crafty with the way he tells his story. I will say, since Egghead, though, this particular podcast has been cooking on theories, so I'm sure there's something that we've said thus far that's going to be correct. I'm just banking on it at this point. Pretty much everything we've thrown out has indirectly kind of been right. I thought Gunko was related to Emu. Emu possessed him. That's good enough for me. I knew she had a correlation with Emu somehow, and it came true. Me and Riddell both cooked on the mark on the arm. That's true. This podcast has been cooking when it comes to One Piece content. Anything else One Piece related? Any prop? We move on to the main topic.
Well, I guess the last thing is a sneaky little quote that I'm sure people are dissecting. Gabon saying to Shanks, he's the child of destiny.
It's not, though.
What does that mean? Because, okay, what he said verbatim is that he's the child of destiny. Wait, hold on. Let me try to grab the exact quote. Yeah, here it is. You were a child of destiny. You were a child of destiny. So it could be more than one. But let's not dwell on tricky topics today. So there's something.
Who did he say this to?
He said that to Shanks.
Gabon said that's a Shanks.
So could it be his family lineage? Because we still don't know much about Shanks Shamrock and the Fergoland stuff.
I have one more piece of propaganda to push. That's a joke. It's not a joke. I'm seriously joking. Y'all know Shanks is stronger than Roger, right? Let me tell you how. Let me tell you how. On Egghead, when they undid the knot, right? They undid the knot, and the hockey was let forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's Joy Boy's hockey.
Mm-hmm.
The first person they thought to draw a parallel with was Shanks, right? Now, at that point in time, there was no way you could have known that they met Roger or Whitebeard or any of these other people who would have been in their prime to pretty much know them in order to draw the parallel between them. Instead, on this chapter, Gabon just said that they met Dorian Bragi on Little Garden. If they met Gabon, that means they met Roger. They didn't compare Roger to Joy Boy. They said this hockey's like Shanks. Could Shanks right now be greater than Roger, the king of the pirates?
I have two responses to that.
Sure.
First one, I think more than likely they were comparing that to the strongest person alive.
That's fair.
So that's why I brought what I
maybe.
Because like out of everybody who has hockey this strong, well, the one thing that definitely says though is that Dragon doesn't have hockey as strong as Shanks.
Do they know Dragon?
I don't know. That's a good point. Second thing.
They know Roger though.
They do, but he's dead.
True.
Now, if Whitebeard was alive and they still said Shanks, that says something about Whitebeard. I'm not gonna lie. But he's not. Whitebeard is dead, and Roger's dead. Second thing, I just remembered this. So remember our conversation when we were talking about Shanks?
Sure.
One thing that we were talking about is, bro, Shanks is like a prodigy. Like he's ridiculous if you really think about who he is.
Yeah.
And this basically solidifies what we've been saying, that Shanks is way more important than we expected. Because we're alluding to that fact, everything that Shanks is connected to. Now he's being called the child of destiny. So I'm curious to see how they're going to play this out. Because I think some people were talking about in the Discord, was he supposed to be what Luffy is right now? And then he just gave it to Luffy, or allowed Luffy to be that? Or is there something else to this entire situation? Because throughout everything that One Piece is, even though it's Luffy's journey, Shanks had a role to play in so much of everything that is going on. So, and he's already been to the One Piece, but he doesn't want it. Why?
Oh, no, Shanks never won it.
He didn't? Oh, he could have, but he didn't go.
But Buggy got sick, so he stayed with Buggy, and they left him behind.
Okay.
But he can't go get it, though.
But he knows. I think he kind of knows where it is. He could. Well, actually, he said recently, all right, it's time to go get it.
That nigga hasn't gotten it yet.
So, also, man, this guy is a real friend, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I don't. His friendship with Buggy, you gotta respect it, because Buggy's a nobody, and he just wants to take Buggy everywhere.
He really fucks with Buggy. I don't know why.
I don't know. Like, I don't know why he would fucking with him so much, but shout out with Buggy.
Even on Marineford, hey, my boy, I got you that treasure map. Buggy, hey, fuck you, nigga. And then Shanks just like, that's my dog. Like,
wow.
It's such a weird friendship. Like, oh man.
That's all for One Piece, though. Good chapter. We're approaching. We're at the.
You got the Shanks tape.
Yeah, I mean, the Shanks tape is crazy. What Shanks was doing in that tape? Now we're not gonna get there.